I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Sometimes people think I am, but I'm just sharing what I feel and what I'm experiencing. And people pay me for it. And sometimes it feels super strange because I'm thinking like, hey, am I creating even value? But that's the part of me that's scared. It's the part of me that thinks like, hey, I'm the guide and the other person is the mentee. But it's not the fucking case. I think that how we think universe works is so different that our brain can't even comprehend. I more and more start to see that the whole world is just a reflection of who we are. And if I start to use that reflection in order to understand more who I am, the more and more I understand that I have no fucking clue who I am. And the more I try to grasp who I am, the more pain I am experiencing. And that pain is my ego clinging to the identity, to the person that it thinks I am, because it's super uncomfortable to change. But that's not who I am. I am the one that's being aware of everything. I am the one that is experiencing. I am the one experiencing having a conversation with someone. And I believe there's a higher power that is taking care of us. And I more and more start to see and believe that we have no fucking clue what we're doing. And the only thing we need to do is be in the moment and experience it. That's the whole game of life. And I see it literally as a game. I really see that everything is a reflection of our inner world, and that we can use the outer world as a reflection to better understand what our soul wants to experience. So you might have read the Surrender Experience. And I believe it is true. I believe that we have a higher self that knows the path. So our higher self knows the next steps and it's communicating via us. And you can call it universe, God, higher self, up to you. I don't give a fuck. But it's hard to comprehend, and I think it's impossible to comprehend. And when you're new to my world, it's even harder because you learn certain things. But what if we have no idea who we are? What if you're trying to let go of the person you are and be more the observer of everything? So there are spiritual concepts as time doesn't exist, and that we are creating our own reality. So if that's the case, if we are the ones creating our own reality, that means that everyone you're seeing is literally a mirror for you, so that you're playing your own game and everyone around you is just there to play a role for you. Even your dad, your mom, your girlfriend, everyone. So that means that even though you might have a conversation with someone, you can have a conversation about this, but you're then in a bubble of a shared reality. And within that shared reality, you still think like, hey, no, that's not true. They're not there for me because we have that conversation with them. But the shared reality helps us to really think that we are in a life that's real. But I don't believe that this is real. I believe that we are the observer, we are the creator itself. So in essence, we are part of God and we are God, and God is working through us. And we chose this experience in life to learn and to develop. And we came here on this earth with a low consciousness level so we can have this experience with a lower frequency. So we're here to find the light. We are here to remember who we truly are. And I believe we have multiple lives. And because time doesn't exist, those lives are in the now. Because when the past is not there, when the future is not there, when we only have the now, it means that we're living all those lives at the same time. And that's really hard to grasp. And I've tried it for 2-3 years to understand it. But I think our human brain is not even can't understand the full concept because it's just too complicated. And we are in a lower frequency state. So when our higher self is communicating to us via our emotions, and the higher self has a higher mind that knows the next steps, that means that we can follow our excitement. And that sounds so simple, and you think like, yeah, that would work, or that won't work because we have responsibilities. But following your highest excitement is not always doing the things that excite you most. It's about understanding our belief system, because excitement and fear is the same emotion but filtered through a different belief system. So sometimes you have things where you feel most resistance towards, and if you feel that resistance, you can ask yourself, hey, I feel fear in my body, and why do I have that resistance towards the thing? And the more resistance I'm experiencing, the more I know, hey, there's a deeper truth inside. And I believe that pain is here to guide us as well. Pain is here to tell us what's inauthentic. So if you are experiencing a strong emotional pain, it's because we are holding on to something. We're holding on to something that we think it's us, but it's just our ego. We created a label. So for a long time I thought I am the e-commerce consultant. Even though I felt more and more frustration, I was not enjoying the work I did. I no longer felt excitement. The thought of stopping in e-commerce was terrified because I identified with it. So my identity was that e-commerce consultant. And stop identifying with something you are, that's scary because you are becoming confused. You become confused like, but who am I then? I had periods where after my healing work, and I'm still healing, but after deep healing work with a trauma healer, a shaman from Sweden, I was walking through the forest and I was really confused, really thinking, who the fuck am I? And a lot of sadness is coming as well if I think about like, hey, who am I? And I more and more understand that I have no clue who I am. And it's confusing because if I thought I was that e-commerce consultant, but it turns out I'm not, then there's like that empty space of who am I then? And sometimes you need to lean in and be open and curious. Okay, what's the universe trying to tell me? Or where does my higher self wants me in my next step? Where does my higher self wants me to move towards? And then uncertainty comes, financial pressure, all those things that are coming from fear. And I refuse to live out of fear. Like, it helped me in a deep depression by following my fear, because fear eventually will help you to not act on anything. Sometimes the fear and the overwhelm can be so big that you just want to hide yourself, because the pain of action can be more than the pain of resisting. And a mentor of mine told me once, the familiar hell feels better than the unfamiliar heaven. And for me, going out of the role in e-commerce and tapping more in a coach, a guide, I'm not sure what I am, that's terrifying. And still sometimes terrifying. But each time when I think like, okay, this is now who I am, I'm limiting myself as well. Because I'm only able to see the world through the filter of being a spiritual business coach. So if pain is trying to tell us that we have limited beliefs, that we're not authentic, and if inauthenticity leads to depression, there's no other way than go through the pain. And I think our relation with pain is so distorted. If we just be more okay with feeling everything and accepting what we're feeling, life will become much easier. Accepting that you're confused, accepting that you feel a lot of emotional pain, because not accepting is not accepting the next steps, it's creating resistance. And pain is pain, but we have additional pain, additional suffering. That's like the mental clutter that we create by thinking of that situation and trying to refuse certain parts of us, trying to pretend as if it's not there, but that's not helping us. And sometimes the pain can be so painful that we're doing everything to not feel it. Spending time on our phone, trying to sleep more, in the weekend going for some drinks, even addictions. And I think those coping mechanisms are a solution to not feel the pain. But it's temporary. In the end, we need to go through the pain that our ego is trying to protect. It's trying to protect the person who we think we are. But as I just mentioned, I feel I have no clue who the fuck I am. And the more I'm able to lean into it and just accept that a part of me is going to die each time, a part of my identity, but that's not who I am. I am the one experiencing. From there, my relationship with pain will improve. From there, I have moments where I went through super painful things. I went through my resistance, which was really painful, and my body was doing everything not to feel it. Getting tired, dizzy, everything to not go there. But that's because I have a big ego. But if I go through it, then my ego starts to think, oh, okay, it is safe to go there. And from there I'm experiencing new things. It's not that I am in the same loops over and over where life feels the same. Things are changing. And then excitement comes. So following your excitement sometimes is following your resistance, go through it, and then you will find your excitement. And from there you're able to understand your limited beliefs. So sometimes you can try to understand your limited beliefs by questioning, but sometimes you can go full through the resistance, which is super painful. Your body is going to do everything to not go there, feeling through that pain. And from there, you think like, it's safe. Okay, it's safe to express. The same for this video. I'm terrified to upload it, but I know afterwards I feel much better. And I try to give it up to something bigger. As in, I don't do this for myself. I do this for the collective. I believe that how I see the world and how I struggle with being human can inspire others to make it potentially be less painful, because no one is knowing what they're doing, especially not the people who teach you what they're doing. But in the unknown, there are the biggest answers. And I think we could be more comfortable with the unknown. I think we're trying to be so much in control, so much to hold on to things. So the career, you're holding on to it. And if something changes, we're like, no, that's not what we want. So there's even more pressure. Your body is tensing up even more. To the part where people are getting in a burnout. And I've been in a burnout. I've been in deep depression. But if I reflect on it, the depression was not accepting the what is, not accepting the change. And I believe that our higher self knows the way and that we can follow it through excitement or frustration / resistance. And from there, life is becoming easier. From there, we can become more in the awareness seat and just seeing what's up there, what's there. So not changing, that's really dangerous, because that's something that our soul doesn't want to experience. Our soul it's getting bored most of the time. It wants new experiences via us, and it's using us, but we are the ones not accepting, trying to control it. It's like as if you're going with the flow in a river and you try to swim the other way. Yeah, you can try it for a bit, eventually you're tired. You let go of it, and then the current will help you towards a new location where you think like, oh wow, this is even more beautiful. So by following our excitement, and sometimes it is resistance, but we are filtering in a wrong belief system, and from there the world can be way different. And if you are able to use the world as a reflection of your inner world, then you see how your higher self and universe is working with you instead of against you. Then you can use the things as synchronicities, as like, oh, okay, this is what I want to experience. What is the universe in my reality, because everyone is a fucking character, trying to tell me? And then it can become more interesting, because the synchronicities are coming. You are meeting people that you think of like, this can't be a coincidence. And I don't believe it's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence at all. They're just here because you made some changes in your inner world. You changed your relationship with pain. You changed your frequency. And because time doesn't exist, there are infinite possibilities. So each version of you that you can think of, the one that's having a million, is already there, but our belief system and frequency prevents us from seeing it. So if you go through the resistance, and if you know what you want to experience, we're able to experience everything. And that's scary. And I love to share more in the upcoming weeks how I go through this process with my relationship with pain, and how painful it can be as well to go through something. Because I'm experiencing a lot of pain, especially in the last few weeks. But the more and more I lean into it, the more I try to accept it, work with it instead of ignoring it, the lighter I start to feel, and the more I can enjoy the little things, and the more I can be in the now. But it's painful. So I would love to share more how I see the world, how I go through the world. Because I think for most people it's quite new what I'm sharing. I start to meet more and more people that have similar thoughts, but it could be the case because everyone is a character. There's only the now, so I create my own reality. Therefore, I meet those people, because that means that I'm really creating this world. But that's still hard to comprehend for myself as well. But there's like a feeling of understanding in it. If I think about it or if I feel it, I feel this is the truth. Yeah, it's an interesting one. So I keep sharing how I see the world. I keep sharing how painful it sometimes is. I want to share more the raw version of who I am, or the version who I think I am. So please subscribe and share your experiences. I believe the more vulnerable we are, the better we can help each other, and the more beautiful the world can be, because if we're not shining light on the parts that are experiencing pain, and if we only shine light on the versions of us that we're most proud of, then we're just living in a big lie, and we're preventing each other from growing to the version who we can become. Thank you.